Welcome to this week's episode of the Going OB podcast. I'm Craig, and this week I'm joined by my pal from across the water, Logan. Logan jumped on with me earlier on to have a chat about, we never really ever did a proper dive into his pro career, making it on the tour, his job, opportunities afterwards, so we cover quite a lot of that today. It was good to catch up with him. We were missing one of the band. Erik's off doing his own thing. He's just launched his own golf podcast called the Dope Golf Podcast. You can get that on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think it's on all the major ones, and he's also got it on YouTube. So go and give that a listen, and we're here to support each other. So, yep, if you like something a bit different, get on board with Erik's podcast. Hopefully we'll get him on here. We've discussed a bit of kind of cross promotion, so it'd be good to put the band back together, even if it's just for one night only. Anyway, please enjoy this episode, me and Logan. So, as I highlighted on previous podcasts, this is the new iteration of me, and it's going to be interview based, and it's not going to be your normal golf podcast where we round up the action from the week and we're going to have a chat with real people. And I've got a real person with me today, although I can't see him on the screen due to some technical issues, but that's fine because we're an audio podcast. I was trying to think, I was like, I need to get some sort of a pro on here, and who do I know that is a pro, was a pro? I know what I'll do. I'll go into my little black book and I'll call him my pal from across the water, Logan. Logan, it's good to speak to you again. How are you?
Good, Craig, man. Great to see you, dude. It's been a little bit, you know. It's good to be back in front of a microphone talking about something that we're both really passionate about. So thanks for having me, dude.
No, I'm delighted that you could you come on, and I know we kind of touched on various bits of your career in your life before in our previous conversations, but I don't think we ever really drilled down into what made Logan the golfer and his career and his life before and his life after. So that's what I'm looking to speak to you about today. So first of all, how's things been recently? How's the family? Is business still booming? What are you up to?
Nah, it's good. Yeah, everything's great. I live in San Diego, so it's really tough to complain about anything. You know, people pretty much immediately go, "Hey, dude, the weather's always perfect there. What are you complaining about?" It's like, yeah, all right. So yeah, no, things are good. Family's good, and my golf game is probably a little bit rusty, but other than that, it's been good.
Good. Work all right?
Yeah, work's been busy. You know, it's that time of the year where it's trying to close out the year strong and just grinding to the end and trying to help out as many people as we can. It's fun.
Yeah, cool. And you still got your wee side business going, eh?
Yeah, still making some wedges. I actually got a couple that I've been working on recently. So Four Left Design still burning out some wedges and grinding and having some fun and making steal a line from what's his name, Rob Dietrich. He used to have this sign in his office that said "Make cool shit." And when I started at Callaway in the custom club department, that was in my office. I had a sign that said "Make cool shit." And that's just kind of been my mantra since then. I mean, I love custom stuff. I love being hands-on and just making something fun that's different that you can't really get anywhere else.
Yeah. Yep. And that's definitely what you've got. When I had a look on your Instagram pages and stuff before, I know we've spoke about your wedge business in the past. And yeah, it is something a bit different. And I think that's what people are looking for nowadays. You know, it's the same old all the time. So if you can offer somebody something a bit different, then people should be jumping all over that, I reckon, eh?
Yeah, it's fun too. That's the other thing about it, right? I mean, it's a nice little outlet, if you will. You know, you get kicked around and beat up a little bit at work, and just hop out in the garage and get the wheel turning and start, making some metal look different and custom finishes and stamps and all that fun stuff. It's just it's art that's golf.
Yep.
So it's fun.
Yep. Taps into your creative side, eh?
Gotcha.
Cool. So let's go back. I'm kind of we've discussed it before, a bit of a scattergun interviewer. And if I think of something, I just tend to say it. But I want to try and cover your story. As I said, we never really got into it in the previous iterations of the podcast. So I just really want to know about Logan, how you got started, who your influences were, maybe some stories from your tour days when you were out there grinding. Really, it's an open platform and the floor is yours. So what was your upbringing like then, and how did you get into golf?
Yeah, so my dad actually was a golf professional. His dad was a superintendent, so kind of golf was always around. The old man played on tour back in the '70s. Had some great stories from back then. He was out there for about 2 or 3 years, full time on the PGA Tour. Then had my sister, my stepsister, which brought him off the tour and focusing on family. So he was a club professional when I came around, and spent most of my summers at the golf course, right? I mean, I grew up in a real small town up in Northern California, which not a lot of stuff to do. So it was either that or go to the lake or, do dumb kid stuff. So I chose to hang out at a golf course because I could, which was kind of fun, private little golf course up there in the mountains, and, learn how to play. Watching him play and his abilities and talent really kind of drove me to be better. He always had one of the best short games I've ever seen in person, and I played with some top players around the country, and it's interesting to see the level of difference. So that was kind of my focus growing up, because I was I wasn't very big, and so I'm like, all right, well, I gotta figure out how to get up and down from just about anywhere and everywhere. And I remember we had this cool little practice facility up there at Pine Mountain Lake Country Club, and I'd sit back there and just try to hit different shots, try to figure out what this golf club is going to do and what I can do with it. We had a chipping green. Actually, take that back. We had a horseshoe pit in our backyard, and in between the pit, we had a putting green. So I'd work on my bunker game in the backyard if I wasn't at the club. So I got my short game pretty well dialed, and then obviously being a mountain course, I hit it in the trees a lot. So I had to learn how to shape and move the golf ball and do different things with it as well. So, when we moved down to the Bay Area, I had a pretty good idea, pretty okay control of ball flight. And then it just kept sitting in. That bite just kept getting bigger, right? So I'm like, I got to keep playing. I got to keep grinding. I got to see how far I can take this. So, played in high school, played in college for a couple years. With some really good players out there in Stockton, and dropped out and thought I'd go chase it, and spent a couple years chasing it. Got pretty close a couple of times. Never made it to the big show, but have some really great memories and some great experiences out there of playing. Obviously some heartbreaks and missing cuts and missing qualifying and all that fun stuff, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. Fun. It was also your job.
Yeah, for a little bit, and then the old adage, right? Those that can't teach. So I started teaching golf. Worked my way up as a club professional throughout the Bay Area. Moved up to Reno, was a first assistant golf professional out there, and then Callaway called me up. Man, it was really nice. So this is how, I don't know if I've ever told you the story of how I got hired at Callaway. So I was a first assistant golf professional at Hidden Valley Country Club in Reno, Nevada, and I created a wedge fitting program. I saw some information on some of these websites I used to follow, specifically Bomb Squad Golf, and they had this guide of how to fit wedges, and I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. So, I looked at this and kind of added my own sauce and flavor to it, and was like, all right, let's have some fun with this. And I remember walking around, because we had club storage up there for our members. I remember walking around the club storage room and seeing all of these wedges that were just smooth faced. I'm like, these guys are not getting benefit out of this. So, I talked to my boss, and I'm like, here's what I want to do. He goes, how much is it going to cost me? I'm like, this is about what we're going to be in, but I'm confident that we'll make it up within, in the season for sure. We'll double your whatever that cost was. We'll make up in the revenue. He's like, okay, I trust you. So created the program. I remember going to my first fitting. The guy was a doctor, and his wedges actually had a little indent, little almost dimple of where because he's a good player, of where he's hitting the ball, right? And I'm like, these things are so smooth. And this is right before the groove change, right? So these grooves were literally cheese graters compared to what he had. I mean, they were shredding covers off of golf balls before they made that rule change. And so we get out there, and what we would do, we start on the range and look at the gaps and look at what he currently has. And then we went over to the chipping area, and we had I don't know, it was probably about a 20-yard little pitch just kind of up into the screen. And there were, it's a practice screen, so there are about 5 or 6 different flags. So he's hitting these shots up there and kind of bouncing it right in front of the green and letting it run up to that first flag, right? The back flag was easy. He could get it pretty close there. But that first flag, he was struggling with. So I'm like, all right, Doc, here's what we're going to do. Take this wedge, and I want you to hit a couple shots with it. I let him hit like 2 or 3 shots. And the first shot that he hit right about where he was aiming, which was probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 paces off the front edge, because he was planning on letting it run and release up. That ball hit, and it stuck right there. And he kind of looks at me. I go, yeah, hit one more. He hit another one, and he flew just a little bit past. Same thing, stuck. And he looks at me again. He goes, what's going on? I'm like, you actually have equipment that's going to be beneficial to your game. I goes, try to fly it. Try to hit the flag stick. And he goes, all right. So he hits this shot, knocks it to about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches, and the ball just freezes right next to the hole. And he looks at me and he goes, I will take 2 sets. I need a set for here, and I need a set for Hawaii. I go, perfect. So first fitting, first sell, sold 2 sets right off the bat. So this thing started to grow, which was super fun. And I was doing the custom stuff. I was doing the grinding. I was doing the hand stamp. We were essentially blueprinting the clubs based off of their current set. So the transition from going from, 9-iron to your gap wedge or pitching wedge to sand wedge to lob wedge was all, it was very smooth, right? So, and what I was finding was these players, these amateur players were just buying it off the rack. Right? So it'd be a wedge shaft, some steel generic shaft, and a stock grip. Well, if you're playing a grip that's 3 wraps or a mid-sized grip, it's going to feel different. And the idea is to have that consistency from top to bottom in your bag. So we started doing that. I went from selling 7 Callaway wedges in a season to 77 in the first 2 months of creating this wedge fitting. And that was just Callaway wedges. We had Vokeys. We had a company called 14, which is a really cool Japanese wedge back in the day. They still are out there, but back in the day, they had some really sweet wedges. Cleveland, I had some pings on there because the head pro was on ping staff. So, yeah, I mean, we could fit anybody and everybody. So Callaway calls me up one day. Guy, he was the inside sales manager. He's still one of my closest friends today. He calls me up. He goes, bro, because that's what he said. That was his move. He was like, bro. Everything was bro, right? SoCal boy through and through, just bro. And he goes, this is a full Lowry statement. I want to talk bro to bro right now. so I'm like, yeah, what's up, dude? What's going on? And he goes, what are you doing up there? So I told him the story. I told him what I was doing. I told him about the wedge fitting program. And he goes, bro, can you build me a set of wedges? I'm like, yeah. So we go through and I kind of fit him over the phone. We talk about his game. We talk about what he's looking for. So he sends me up a set of, just generic set of Callaway Mac Daddy wedges. And he went to Southern Miss. So Miss is, the colors are black and gold. So I had some fun. I took them all apart. I took one of the heads and baked it in the oven, right? So if you get it to a certain temperature, you can get it to kind of change color on raw carbon steel. So I got it to this nice, beautiful gold color. And we did that one. Then I blacked one out with like gunmetal black stuff that you put on there. It just blacks it out. And then I had one that was a kind of like a flame blue. So we had a little variety of it. And I stamped it and put a little custom grind on there. So I sent it back to him. And he calls me one day. He goes, dude, these things, bro. Sorry. He goes, bro, these things are sick. And he goes, hang on a second. Hang on. And I hear like in the background, hey, Roger. And I'm like, what? Roger? And he goes, hey, Rod, what do you think of these things? And I hear Roger Cleveland's voice go, oh, yeah, those are very nice. And I'm like, well, you just showed those to Roger Cleveland? And he goes, yeah, I think they're dope, dude. And I'm like, wow. He goes, no, seriously, bro, when are you coming down here to work for us? And at that time, dude, I'm looking out over the Truckee Meadows. I see the Sierra Nevada mountains, right? Just a little bit of snow because it's, spring or whatever it was, just on the top. So I'm going, I have this gorgeous view, this gorgeous membership that I love being around and having fun with. I'm like, I ain't going anywhere, man. And he goes, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. So like summer's rolling through. I'm still, this is, second season, still sent a bunch of wedges. Fall comes around. He goes, bro, you got to come down. I got to give you a tour of the facility. You just got to come down. Make a trip. So I'm like, all right. So I make the trip down to Carlsbad, and he has this whole thing set up, right? So we go on the plant, and this is back when Callaway was manufacturing in Carlsbad. So we go through the whole factory and see where they build clubs. Then we get to go in the pro tour department, right? So then this is where all the cool stuff was. And I've been a golf nerd for years at this point. I'm like a seasoned golf nerd now, right? I mean, it's just, but back then I was like a just, I was like a what was maybe 7 or 8 year old, golf nerd at that point. That the experience, right? So I am just full nerding out on all this stuff, seeing all the pro tour stuff, seeing all the cool things, and then we get to go back into the putter department. And a lot of people don't know who Dennis Wagner is, but Dennis Wagner is, without question, a putter savant. I mean, he knows so much about putters and how to customize and make just the best performing putter that you'll ever play, right? So he makes all of the customizations, all the cool stuff for Odyssey. And I just talked to him for about 30 or 45 minutes. I mean, it was the best. I'm like, this was like Graceland for me. I mean, this is amazing. So we get on the tour, we get on the stuff, and he goes, all right, meet me down at Deanie's for happy hour. I'm like, okay. And it's fall, and I'm like, okay. So I go down to this place, and Deanie's is in downtown Carlsbad. It's essentially the only bar in Carlsbad where you can sit there and literally watch the sun set into the ocean. And I didn't know this, right? And I'm a single guy at the time, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm in Southern California at Deanie's watching the sun dip into the ocean with more talent around me than I've seen in, I don't know, 15 years. And I'm going, this is unbelievable.
Yep.
And I look over at Lowry and I'm like, dude, you did this on purpose. And he's like, bro, you coming to work for us? So fast forward to that next, March? Fast forward to that next March, and I started at Callaway, and and had some fun there, man. That was good times, and just got my full golf nerd fix on.
Yeah. He played you there, Logan. He played you, and you fell for it.
100%. 100%.
We need this guy in, so how are we going to get him in? Let's show him some sunset. Let's show him some nice ladies. And let's give him the keys to the castle and let him play with some of the stuff that us mere mortals will never get to see that are behind closed doors. And that was enough. That was enough.
That did it. He knew what buttons to press, man, and that was it. I was I'm like, all right, I got to figure out how to get down there, and I did, and I've been here ever since. And that was I came down here in 2010, so I've been down here for a while now.
Yeah. And then what'd you do after working? How long were you working with him for?
So I was there about 5.5 years, I think. I think it was about 5 years or so.
Yep.
And the last position I had there, I oversaw the custom club business for North America. So had a team in Monterey that built all the custom clubs, and we did some cool stuff, right? I mean, it was fun. Quick story there. So Roger was a big fan of like the side saddle putting, right? But the challenge with that is that you need a really upright putter, and somewhere in the neighborhood like 72 degrees or 70 degrees or something like that. So we run it through, and he was running it through Pro Tour. Well, certain times of the year, Pro Tour gets super busy. So, they come to me and they go, hey, we can't fulfill this order. Can you guys down and your custom team do it? I'm like, yeah. So I send them the order, tell them what's going on. And we used to have calls every Monday Monday and Thursday, I think, is when we had calls. So send the order like on Tuesday. We got on the call Thursday. They're like, I don't know if we know how to do this. And I'm like, it's real easy. Just do this, and this, put in the thing, put that on there. You bend it up, and you can get it up there. They're like, okay. Monday comes around. They're like, I don't think we can get that up right. And I'm like, okay. So I hop on a plane, fly down there to Monterey, Mexico, right, which is like south of Texas. And I had some other stuff to do too. It wasn't just for this, but I knew I was planning a trip. I just moved it up like 2 weeks or something like that. So get down there, go to my Pro Tour team, or go to my custom team, and put the thing in the jig, grab the handle, and you just go boop. I bend it up. First pull, by the way, first bend, I get it to the right lie angle. I'm like, it was like almost like a mic drop moment. I'm like, I'm not that good. I just got really lucky. So, but it was fun. We got to make some really cool stuff and do some neat and different things, and it's kind of cool to see how they've expanded on that over the years. I remember watching Anthony. So if you follow Callaway Golf or you follow Anthony Toronto, I forgot
Yeah,
his last name. There's the T.
yeah,
He does some really cool, fun custom stamping and custom work on wedges, and he's been doing it a long time. So he was one of the guys that was one of the tour assemblers in the pro tour department. Been there forever. And I remember he started kind of doing some custom stuff and stamping, and we actually built some wedges for Anastasia Ashley that were pretty cool. I have a picture of those. Those are pretty fun. That I talked to him. I said we got to do like a wave and some hearts and put her initials in it. And yeah, he made it look cool. And then he kind of took that and not necessarily that one specifically, but that kind of talent of having that eye and just really built on it. So it was really cool to watch him go from just making some cool stamps to what he does now. And it's just it's fun. He's super, super talented, and he made some really cool stuff.
yeah. His Instagram page is top notch. I've followed him for a while, and you see some of the stuff, and you're like, that is really cool. And they're obviously proper orders for proper people. Those type of ones. But yeah, it's I suppose if you're in that game and you're just grinding out the same stuff all the time, it can get a bit kind of tedious. But if you're given the kind of freedom to go away and design these type of things, and I'm sure a lot of the guys, like the guys on the pro tours, I think some of them have got kids' names and whatever else, but I'm sure now and again they'll just turn around and say, I'm playing this tournament, I'm playing in such and such a place, just make me something cool, and then they can just run away with it, really.
Well, and one of the fun things about, or one of the things I think that people don't necessarily know about Pro Tour and golfers at that level is how frequently they change out their wedges, right?
Yeah.
There's maybe a handful of guys that will play a wedge for 6 months, maybe. Most of these guys are changing every other week, every third week. There's some guys that are insane and change them every week. So I mean, there's something to be said about the performance, right? Because these are your scoring clubs, and you want to make sure that things are dialed in, right? You don't want to have something that's got soft grooves, and then conditions dictate a lot too. I know that this time of year, if I'm going to Arizona, I'm playing a different wedge than I play when I'm here. If I go to Northern California, there's a subtle difference to that leading edge and a little bit more bounce depending on where I'm going. So it's subtle little things that you'll learn over the years. It's like, man, if the conditions are really wet, you want something that has a higher bounce and a softer leading edge, a more rolled leading edge. Because if it has less bounce and a sharper leading edge, is going to dig.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to have that proper turf interaction, and it's just it's a matter of being fit, number one, and two, knowing that's what the clubs are going to do. And so it's interesting. But a lot of these guys on tour, they change a lot. And another guy that actually I learned a lot from was Aaron Dill, who works for Vokey. He also makes some incredible wedges. He makes some really cool stuff. He does the little dots, right? So, and he'll make designs and shape out of just the tiny little dots, and he makes a bunch of them, and then he fills them with paint, and they'll put like a flag or put like the Alabama A or something like that. I mean, he's incredibly talented. And I remember, before he got onto the tour van, he was doing like the Titleist had a program where they would send out a custom fitting truck, and they would do custom fittings at your facility. And when I was in San Jose, that's where I met Aaron, and just kind of watched, and he was there a couple times a year, and I'd watch and just kind of just get an idea of what he was doing. And then, we brought him up to Reno when I was there, and just really kind of, anytime he was there, I would spend most of the day, as long as I possibly could, in the trailer, just watching him grind, watching him stamp, and really just trying to absorb all of that. So I give him really a lot of the credit for, my ability to grind and stamp and do that just by literally just watching and asking questions and just trying to learn as much as I could from somebody that's been doing it for a while. And he's uber talented.
Yeah, I think it is one of the things that does get kind of left out. I mean, I've done it. I've been for club fittings, and a lot of guys I know have they kind of neglect the wedges, and they'll just go to one of the local shops to pick up a Vokey. I need a 50, I need a 54, and they just go with it. I know we had a bit of a conversation the other month about types of wedges that I was using things, and I went on that Titleist website just to see what the how you would potentially could be fitted for those, and the amount of questions, and it was what type of turf are you playing, what conditions. You've got to take all that obviously into account, but I couldn't tell you out of any of the groups of guys I all know that some of them are good low handicap players that have ever been for a wedge fitting. Everybody goes and gets fitted for a new driver and they'll do irons and putters and stuff. I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, I was fitted for these wedges." They just kind of seem to go pick something off the shelf, and I suppose because it's new and you're a decent player, you can control it. But yeah, that's a whole new world in the fitting thing, and it's stupid because those are the scoring clubs. You know, you're going to be within 100 yards or whatever else. So what ones are you going to be using? It's going to be your wedges.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's where I found that opportunity up at Hidden, right? I mean, that was something that I saw as a neglected piece of the game, and you know, we saw a tremendous amount of success, right? Not only from the retail side of it, but the feedback that I got from everybody that I fit. I mean, it was always positive. You know, specifically that first one. I mean, that first fitting, I was kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if this is actually gonna work. I mean, I had 2 staff bags full of wedges. Now I had like it was like 50 wedges or something like that, right? So it's one of pretty much every flavor, just to kind of see what was going on. And you kind of, I at that time been teaching for a while, and so I kind of understood mechanics and all of the different kind of physics of the game and what different things are going to do. But actually being able to apply it to the wedge side was really a lot of fun. And like I said, I agree with you. I think it's a neglected part, and I think that there's people there that can really help other golfers and get better, right? And that's kind of that was kind of the whole idea and premise behind Four Left Designs, is that I want to not only do I want to make cool shit, because we talked about that before, but
yeah,
I like being able to see that satisfaction of someone hitting a shot and going, wow, that feels really good, and then seeing the action of what the ball does and that the difference, because it does make a difference when you have properly fit equipment, whether it's hitting the ball as far as you possibly can, or hitting a dirty flop shot that just is lands like a butterfly with sore feet, right? I mean, that's what everybody wants to do. You want to be able to have that in your bag, and part of it is practice. Another part of it is equipment.
Yeah, yep. And you will get the people. I mean, I'm guilty for that. You look online and you're like, I need a set of wedges. Oh, Costco are doing 3 for $150 in your money and 150 an hour. I'll go buy those. They're not going to improve me using ones like that, or going and spending 150 quid on one wedge when you're buying Wokies, and it's maybe not the right type of one for the condition that you're using. So, yeah, I echo your sentiments. It's definitely something that you should be getting fitted for. So, keep up the good work as far as that's concerned, and hopefully you keep getting you get some more cool orders out of that, and keep posting them on Instagram, because it's good to see. So you moved on from them. What are you currently doing work-wise? You're with a different company now, aren't you?
Yeah, so left there, went to Yamaha, worked for Yamaha golf car company for a little bit, and now I work for EasyGo. So I'm the Western regional sales manager for EasyGo. I cover the Western United States and sell golf. Well, I don't sell golf cars. I have dealers that sell golf cars, and they make some cool stuff. I got some guys that make some really cool things. So, it's crazy what you can do with a golf car. I got a guy up north, Mount Bachelor Golf Cars, that he he's a fun guy. I like Mike. He's a good dude. He's funny. He's a lot of fun. But he made a golf car that does about 35 miles an hour.
Nice.
And it is borderline terrifying. He can go from a dead stop and it'll lift the front wheels off the ground. I mean, it's a little bit wild, but it's fun, right? I mean, you got to do something kind of fun and cool. And because it sets you apart from the other guys that are out there. But yeah, it's been a good gig. I've been here for about just over 2.5 years now.
Cool. Yeah, I suppose it is, and again, it's something that you can, if you're going to be spending a lot of money on a cart and you're going to be using it at your club, you want something that's a bit more unique to you, eh? So I've seen quite a number of accounts on Instagram and things like that, and all on the YouTube channels of these guys touring about with their souped up golf buggies in the carts with the big speakers on the back and things. So yeah, but
I saw one on and it had to be like LA, but I saw one on with hydraulics. that was I think it was at a car show or something like that went around the corner, hit the 3-wheel motion. I'm like, there we go. I keep trying to talk to some of my boys and have them do it, but they're like, I don't think it'll sell. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it might, to the right
It
market.
wouldn't set in areas. It definitely wouldn't set in areas.
I want somebody to go for like a world record. I want somebody to build a golf car that will and jump it, right? Let's see how far we can jump a golf car.
Yeah. There must be some record set already.
I don't know.
Somebody will have tried it.
So I need somebody like probably like in where would that be? I need the boys from Red Bull to sponsor that. That's what we need. We need to do a world record Red Bull easy go long jump golf cart. See how far we can send it.
The challenge has been set. They can contact you on 4 Left Designs on Instagram, and we'll take it from there.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Right, cool. Before we get wrapped up, as I said, I'll do a kind of a bit of a scattergun approach to interviews here, and when I think of something, I go a bit off-piste. So what I have composed here is I've got 100 questions. Now, I'm not going to ask you them all, right? But what I want you to do, we're only going to do a couple, but it's a bit of a random generator here, so give me a number between 1 and 100.
53.
53. Well, I don't know if you can answer this one, right? But try, right? Can you describe your first professional win and what it meant to you?
Oh, geez.
How did you get any professional wins?
No.
Right.
I feel like Gary McCord, right?
Yeah.
No W's. But what I will do is I'll tell you quickly about the first time I actually tried to qualify for what now is the Korn Ferry Tour, right? So this is back in the day. This is right after Nike Tour. I always forget which tour it was because there were like 13 different tour names that they had over the years. I mean, it's been crazy for the developmental tour for the PGA. So it's at Bayonet Black Horse. Tournaments of Bayonet, qualifiers on Black Horse. I look and see what the numbers have been historically to get in. Typically 70, 71 gets in, right? So I'm like, okay, I can do that. I like that golf course. Sets up well for me. Monterey Peninsula. That the only like factor that's out there is weather, right? Because it can get pretty nasty sometimes out there on the coast. But we got fortunate. I mean, not like, where you are nasty, but
yeah,
not. Y'all got different weather up there, man.
100%. We get different weather depending on what hour of the day it is.
Yeah.
So far today we've had rain, sleet. Well, no, it's quite sleet, but really heavy rain. We've had winds. It's a bit of a lottery what we get. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so that we don't quite get as severe as that, but it can get pretty gnarly out there. And so I remember I went out there and you come up over the hill and you drop down to the parking lot to where the driving range is and where the clubhouse is and all that fun stuff. And I remember my caddy's in the car with me, Matt, great dude. We get up over the hill, come down, and I look over next to the driving range and I see all the tour trucks. TaylorMade's there, Callaway's there, Ping, Titleist. And I'm like, oh, this is like real. This is like real. Because before this was all college stuff, right? College and other just random stuff. So I'm like, all right. So I talked to my caddy. I'm like, hey, go find me a spot on the very end of the range. I don't want to see anybody. He goes, all right. So go in the clubhouse. I know some of the guys there. So I say, what's up? Go to the bathroom. Just kind of splash some water on my face and go, all right, here we go. Let's go do this. Walk out to the range. Matt does a great job. Gets me set up on the far side of the range where I don't see anybody. He's got a bag of balls, right? And I mean, just fresh, brand new golf balls. I'm like, this is awesome. And so, starting to get warm up and trying to get a good rhythm and a good pace. And my caddy said one of the best things that, as a caddy, I think you could ever say to a player. He looked at me, he goes, dude, I'm looking down this range. I don't think anybody's hitting it better than you are right now.
Oh,
I went,
what a hype man. What a hype man.
There we go. So, I start pumping some drivers out there, feeling good. We go over the putting green, and this is, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years past the spike rule, right? So we went from metal spikes to the ply. We had to go plastic spike. So I go over the putting green. I'm seeing spike marks. I'm like, oh, that's right. Tour hasn't adopted it yet. So they can wear metal spikes. I'm like, oh, this is okay. We're really here. The ropes are up, right? You got the TV towers. You got all the things out there. And I'm going, woo. We get up to the first tee. And the first guy hit. I was third. We went out in threes. First guy hits, kind of snarfs it left on the it's actually 18 bayonet was coming up in the first hole back then. They've redone it since, but he snarfs it a little bit left. Next guy kind of hits a high block fade because he didn't want to snarf it. And I will never forget this. I remember sitting over that ball, more nerves than I felt in a long, long time, right? Just getting that deep breath. My dad's voice in my head just going, breathe, get that air, get that oxygen. You're good. You got this. And then the thought that pops in goes, just get it airborne. Of all the thoughts, of all the thoughts in the world I have is just get it airborne. And whatever reason, that took me from that tight kind of tense. I kind of laughed to myself, and it brought that tension down, and I absolutely piped it.
Nice.
And that's like anytime I go to an event now, anytime I play it, whether it's a hit and giggle with whomever, that's my thought. If I haven't played in a while, it's just get it airborne. I kind of laugh and giggle at myself, and I'm like, you idiot! How long have I played? And here we go, just pipe it right down the middle. And so long story getting longer. We make the turn. I'm sorry, we get on to 18, and I look at my caddy and I'm going, we need to birdie this if we have a chance of making it. And he goes, all right. And I thump drive, absolutely hammer drive right down the middle of 18. 18's par 5. I'm walking down. I see one of the guys I know from San Jose, and he goes, dude, is that your drive? I go, yeah. He goes, I've been out here for a minute. I haven't seen anybody hit it farther than that. He goes, where do you stand? I go, I got it 1 under. He goes, all right, make this. You'll play the rest of the week. I'm like, let's go. So I get up, I hit 3-wood. I was trying to bring it up the right-hand side and kind of get it to draw in to kind of work it up onto the green because I didn't know if I could get it there. And I overcooked it. I hit it down in this little swale to the left-hand side. So I got down in this little swale. It lies pretty good. I got a tree, not a big tree, but a tree in front of me, and then elevated green, tree, bunker, green. So I look over at my caddy, and I'm like, dude, I've hit this shot all day, every day growing up, right? I mean, we talked about that earlier. I grew up in the mountains. I mean, I can hit a flop shot over a tree all day. So I look at my caddy. I go, dude, I'm hitting this to about 3 feet, 4 feet. And you're taking the rest of the week off because I need you to hold that bag for me. And he goes, let's go. So I hit the shot. I hit it to about 6 feet, make the putt, shoot 70. I'm like, I'm good. We're in. And so I remember sitting at the clubhouse. We had a morning time. We were kind of early morning-ish. So we had the rest of the afternoon groups come in, or rest of the morning groups come in, and then the whole afternoon wave. So the morning groups come in. By the way, they're only taking 4 spots here, right, on these qualifying events. And there's a morning wave and there's an afternoon wave. So, I mean, it's like 200 dudes trying for 4 spots. So I get to the afternoon, people start coming in, and I'm sitting in third, tied for third. So I'm like, worst case, it's playoff, right? There's a 60, I think there's a 68, a 69, and then 2 70s. So tied for the last spot, essentially. And then about halfway, a little bit shorter than halfway, about a quarter of the way through the afternoon round, another dude shot 68, and then the following group, another dude, I think, shot 69. So I'm like, all right, I'm out. So missed it by 1. But I tell you, the guys I played with, one of the guys played full-time on the Canadian tour, and I just beat him up and down. I mean, it was fun. And just knowing that I could hang and compete with those guys is really kind of what encouraged me to chase it for as long as I did. But it was fun. It was knowing that my game is good enough to hang with some of these guys. I was ready. I never wanted to be number 1 in the world, right? That wasn't my goal. I just want to make a living doing it. If I could keep back then, if I could stay in the top 150 and keep my card, I was going to make a couple $100,000 a year and be set, be happy.
Yeah. Yep. And then look what happened to you after that. You're still in the business now, all these years after, doing something different, but equally still involved and still making a difference to people's games. So, yes, it's in your blood, Logan. I think you're never going to get away from it.
No, I don't think so either, man. It's I'm stuck with the game.
Yep. Just as well you like it, eh?
It's a good thing I do.
We'll do one more out of my big long list of questions. So give me a high number because I've got some interesting ones. In fact, see, before we do that, very quickly, just while we're on the topic of equipment, did I tell you I'd got rid of my driver and I'm playing with a 2-iron off the tee all the time?
Oh no, we didn't talk about that. I know you were messing around with trying to go like a mini, right? You're looking at the TaylorMade Mini.
I was looking at the Mini, and then I decided you couldn't go and get fitted for the Mini. It was just a buy it. and it was
Yep.
like 350 or something, and I was like, oh, well, I run the risk of getting one, and then maybe no. So I went and got myself a Titleist U500 2-iron with a Hazard black stiff shaft, and I'm keeping it in play, right? Which is, for me, has always been the main problem. And my driver was too erratic and whatever else. So I'm keeping it in play, but I'm only maybe getting like 220 out of it, 230 maybe.
That's pretty good though.
But I'd rather be in play and slightly behind, and maybe having to play a 5-iron instead of a 6-iron than blasting it into the bushes and having to play it out. So I took it when I was over in Florida in the summer. I took it over with me, and we met up with Erik and had a couple of games with him. He came up, well, he was part of his Florida, his America World Tour of America, Eric's World Tour of America. And we played with him, had a shot at his driver. However, I did realise that when I'm playing with guys of his length, read into that what you want, I am severely handicapped by being a lot further back on longer, tougher courses. So I suppose it is horses for courses is what we would say over here. I think I might need to get some form of a driver back again, just to, when I am playing some of these longer courses. I played one of the coastal courses last Tuesday as well, and the wind was blowing a hoolie, and I was just getting nothing off the tee with this 2-iron, and that's all I've got in my bag because I sold my driver and I got rid of my 5-wood. Probably not some of my best ideas, but you've not been here to keep me right and tell me not to do these type of things. So, I think I might have to go back into the driver market again.
Do you know what we call the 2-iron?
No.
Chicken stick.
Right, okay. Why is that? Because you've chickened out of hitting a driver.
You chicken out of hitting driver. You hitting the 2-iron. I have one too. I have a old Callaway one that I had when I was at Callaway. It's so good and so consistent. So and I know those times when I need to use it. Let's talk after. I have a couple of thoughts and ideas in terms of that mini driver. I think we can do something for you.
Right, cool. No worries. Right, give me one more number between. We'll go from 71 to 100.
79.
79. Now, these are random questions, by the way, so it could be anything. If you could master any skill instantly, what would it be? And this doesn't have to be golf related, but what would it be?
If I could master any skill just instantly?
Instantly.
That's a really, really, really good question. I would have to say, this is so random. I would have to say card tricks.
Right.
Like
Okay.
being able to shuffle and do stuff with cards and just knowing like almost like counting cards, right? Just being able to know like, hey, this is like that. I mean, just being able to do some like cool magic card tricks. Like if I could know that like right now, not have to put the time and effort to learn how to do it. Yeah. That'd be dope. I know that's probably not what some people are going like card tricks of all the things out there, all the skills that you could do, magician is what you choose.
Yeah, you could have picked knowing the lottery numbers or the Powerball numbers or...
Yeah, that's not a skill though, right? That's like, well, I feel like that's cheating.
That is cheating, I suppose. No, the card skill one is good because it is quite impressive to be able to be somewhere, just pull out a deck of cards and show someone a magic trick. So, yeah,
I remember. Have you seen like some really good like guys with card tricks in person?
Yeah,
I've seen a couple. It's why we had one at Hidden Valley once for the member guests when we were up there when I was up there, and I remember I don't know how he did this, but he had I don't know if he threw it or he pre-planted it or what the deal was, but he had the card. He got the person to get whatever card it was, and then he like threw his hands up and he goes, look up, and we all looked up at the ceiling and it was stuck on the ceiling. We're like, oh, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
It's just some of that stuff is like, oh my goodness. And I know that some of these tricks are kind of long play, right? You gotta get them to do some certain things. Some of them I think of like when they sign a card and they're like, oh, open up your jacket pocket, take out your wallet, see that envelope? I'm like, wait, this envelope wasn't here before, and then you open it and then it's the signed card. It's like, how did you do that?
Yep, one of life's great mysteries.
Yep, that's why it's called magic.
Absolutely. Well, listen, it's been really... Oh, when are you... when will work bring you over this side of the water? Is there any plans in the offing for you to come over here and be my guest on a couple of links courses?
Not work related, no, because I only cover the Western U.S. But yeah, on my list is getting over there because I definitely want to blow the dust off the golf clubs because they might be a little
Yeah.
dusty right now, and
Yep.
get over there and play because there's a lot, not even a few golf courses out over there that I really want to play. But believe me, when that day comes, you are the first person that I'm calling, and we're
Cool.
gonna go have a couple pints,
Yep.
maybe
We'll get
some Jameson.
Well, I'm not really a whiskey drinker because I've had some bad experiences on it. But if you're coming over, I'll maybe make an exception. But yeah,
There you go.
definitely hit me up when you make some plans to come over this side, and I'll take care of you when you come over here. So, but it's been really good to catch up with you. I know
Same.
it's been months now since since we went our separate ways.
Yeah,
But
it's been a little while.
and I know we keep in touch on the messages and stuff. But if you ever want to come back on my new show, then you're more than welcome. And as I said, it was really good to chat to you again. So thanks again, Logan.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Great catching up, man.
Cheers. You too. Take care.
Thanks,
Cheers.
brother.